Okay. We're gonna call this live. We're gonna see what we have.
It still says your other stream's live.
Well, we know that's not true, so let's try this one. Let me know if we have a go here this go around. We'll just chop the front of this stream off once we have that as as confirmation. People are getting antsy. It's time for racing. We're an hour past.
Can you move your cursor?
Can I move it? Why? What?
Yeah, or like your thing. I want to see if it.
Okay, I'm trying. I'm moving it now. What do we have?
Oh, fucking playback is crazy. Well, playback is insane for some reason.
Are you able to see the mouse moving though?
Oh, your mouse looks great.
Okay, so like you can see it moving.
Moves good.
Okay.
Yeah, it moves smoothly. Your cursor moves smoothly.
Okay, so cool. There's no more stuttering, and you can hear both of us on stream?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes.
And how does it sound versus the game audio?
Sorry.
Like if
Yeah,
we're
you sound great. You sound good. You sound good.
okay, my only concern is like, you know, our audio level, me and you, versus the
sound
audio level of the engines when the cars are coming, and you know how it goes.
No, I got you. I'm not even fully up to my mic. If I hear like fading or something.
Yeah,
Like that, I'll just...
yeah. No, I think we should be good regardless at this point. I think I turned the quality of the stream down. Yeah, I think so too.
Sweet, it only took us an hour and 10 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, only an hour and 10 minutes.
I hope he said it right. He should have, though. Oh, you just got the field set right. Awesome.
Why did Delano say wait 5? Anyway, we are gonna call this at the start of the stream. You guys got to see a little bit of behind the scenes after we went through a couple we'll call them failed attempts at a stream. And failed attempts at the lobby, but we're here. We're here for round 1 of the Auto Racing Connected Formula 1 World Championship, obviously brought by Dive Bomb. You can find Dive Bomb on their website, dive-bomb.com. Our news media website. They're a branch of our whole kind of, we're a big umbrella corporation.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're about to get underway for our flagship championship in ARC. I'm gonna move my mouse cursor, that way you guys don't have to see it. And yeah, no, we are about ready to go green for the season 15 Australian Grand Prix. I am AJ Knickel. I have raced in ARC Formula 1 for the last 14 seasons before this, and I'm joined here by Matthew Stotts, my co-commentator, who also has a fair bit of racing experience under his belt in ARC Formula 1. We have a crazy field this week. Crazy in the sense that there's been a lot of turnover since last season. New faces in new places, new cars for new teams. Some teams just don't exist anymore. And as you guys will see here, this is not a formation lap. This is 5 lights, and we are gone off of the grid here. We've got Harrison Holmes leading off into turn 1. Oh, and the Aston Martin gets shuffled just a little bit wide there. I believe that was Jamie Cavagnini. It may have been the other one. As we're kind of looking to see what Xander Wiles does here up the inside. He takes advantage. He's going down the inside there, but he's not going to quite get it done, and Harrison Holmes is going to hold on to that first position. That is a crucial move for him in his first Auto Racing Connected Formula 1 start. As we kind of work our way down the field, though, it seems as if this was a fairly clean start, all in all. I didn't see any wings flying. Obviously, on a circuit like this where the walls are so close, you never quite know when you're going to start seeing that type of thing. Looks like we're almost 3 wide here, headed off into the chicane. And Harrison Holmes will hold on. And one of the Alpines is wide. Santi Ortiz picks up a 3-second time penalty, another newcomer. Looks like Abdul Rahman Al Hazmi is down to 15th. And Xander Wiles does end up picking up a position. We have a crash in the back of the pack.
Oh, right. Oh, that's a solver.
How many? Yeah, how many cars was that involved, and who was involved?
Like
We have.
3.
Seems like we have a VSC for that one now, and we're gonna kind of catch our breath here after that start and see who shuffles off into the pits, what the damage looks like. Mikey DeJong, he of course is pitting right now, as you guys can see, and we also have Delano Van Bennekom in the Haas at the back of the field pitting, as well as Rybird, known as Ryan Messer, another newcomer to this league. Going down through the field, it's this could be a really interesting first race for a lot of guys here, but it could also play out to be quite interesting for Xander Wiles, who has been very close to winning before and just has not quite been able to get it done yet. So as we're under a VSC, he led the first lap. Obviously a lot of racing left to go. We're back green, DRS enabled. Ryan Messer's still in the pits down in 19th, and a lot going on here at a track like this. Not a lot of time to catch your breath.
A bit of a split. We got the top 8 kind of separating from 9th on back. So, oh, what was that?
What did you just look at there?
I saw, I think it was a Ferrari getting destroyed in the back by an Alpine.
Yeah, I saw him fall down the order down there, but I didn't quite know if there would be there was anything else there. We're gonna take a look at some of.
Ferrari and what was that? A Williams in the gravel.
Yeah, it seems like he's missing. Oh, and they're. Oh my.
Well, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that was an undertake. I don't know if you saw that as well. He just kind of drove under
No,
him.
I saw that. Yeah,
That was something. Yeah, no, I've never seen a pass like that at all. And I'm sure he's definitely got wing damage. He's missing an end plate, but I can't imagine it's going to hurt his teammates' feelings too much. Who's currently out in front leading, so he's probably just hoping that if something's going to happen, it doesn't affect his race, and it's not at the hands of his teammate at this point. Couple interesting things about this. Last season's winner here at Australia opened the season off in season 14. He's not here. George Knight. He's meant to be piloting the Mercedes. The one that's currently in 14th, he was unable to make it tonight. He's obviously our defending champion, but he's not going to be doing much defending of either the race win or the championship here this week, as he is not with us tonight. He's been replaced by Sean Rice in the new entry Vision 47 cars. The top two in our championship actually merged to make that new team, which has just completely changed the shape of the field in a lot of ways. As I was kind of getting at, as we kind of settle into a line here, we can kind of start working our way through some of the changes that happened in between the seasons in our flagship Formula One series here. Importantly, I mean, we could start really from the top, or we could go in alphabetical order if you want to with the Alpine. Do you want to do that? We can go in alphabetical order.
We might as well. I mean, we're going to start from the top.
Yeah, there's not a ton happening. We have a caution in sector 2, but looking at kind of what's going on, there's not a whole lot of craziness at the moment. But I mean, looking at this Alpine here, you'll see it's Santi Ortiz, and the other one, Pickle Dan. That one's Finn Baker. These two are new to ARC Formula One's World Championship. Finn Baker was racing in our European Championship when that was a thing. We have a Sauber falling back. I believe that was Ryan Messer there getting lapped. But this is a whole new entry for ARC Formula One. This is the Orker F1 team, which was a cleverly decided name between their two last names, Ortiz and Baker. And they've collaborated together on... actually, I may have commentators cursed this one, as he's fallen back 2 positions and is headed into the pits now. But yeah, they're going to be looking for a good first race. This might make it a little harder, but this is one of our newest outfits, and obviously there will be some speed bumps along the way, as we're seeing now. I guess that moves us to Aston Martin, actually. They're having a fairly solid race. Ryan Messer retires from the session down in 19th, the Sauber. But our Aston Martin team of Jamie Cavagnini and and Charlie Murphy are partnered again. Last season they were driving the Williams. This season they did not get the Williams. They got the Aston Martin, and they are currently running in P5 and P7. I believe they were third in last year's Constructors' Championship. I can check that quick, because I have all the stats pulled up in front of me. They were indeed third in last season's championship, kind of on their own too. So really, which pass there?
It was the Aston Martin. We were just talking about Charlie Murphy.
I'm glad I caught it then. I looked away for a moment for that stat sheet. I'm seeing the Red Bull and the Alpine are having a bit of a battle here too. I'm interested to hone in on that one between Dylan Boston and Santi Ortiz. Boston headed down the inside. He's not left space. A little bit of contact through the grass. Can he save it? He saves it. He's going to lose out on that, and he's not going to be happy about that one. No matter what way you look at that, whoever's fault that was, I couldn't really get a barometer on if maybe Ortiz turned in across the nose, or if there just wasn't enough nose in there for Dylan Boston to justify putting it in like that. But either way, you can tell he's pushing by the way that rear end is sliding around, trying to catch back up to that train. And we have a retirement and a safety car from Delano Van Bennekom in the Haas. I'm not sure we're going to get a view of this accident, it being so far behind everything else, but there's a yellow flag in Sector 1, turns 1 and 2. And we're going to be a long way away from that for the leader, Cameron Lopez. One of our ARC Formula 1 champions, actually, leading this race. He took the lead over from Xander Wiles and Oliver James, and yeah, very, very interesting race at the top here.
Oh, I didn't notice. Harrison fell away to 7th.
I didn't catch Harrison falling to 7th either, actually, and I'm a little unsure how that happened.
I saw the double overtake Cameron had on Xander, and I believe Harrison was still up there. I just didn't look back at it. I don't know if he maybe lost the front end, or spun, or I don't know what could have happened.
I'd imagine if you fall to 7th, it was probably contact. So we'll take a look in and see if he has any wing changes. It didn't look to be. He's still 6th, so
maybe driven off course. And
maybe. You wouldn't imagine though that if somebody qualifies pole, they're gonna be. Well, I mean, you would. There's plenty of people who are fast over one lap who make mistakes during the race, but I don't know. I just feel like we would have caught that. But obviously, you know. It's tough to catch everything. There are 20 cars out on track.
You know, that pitted early. This saves a couple of them. I mean, I don't know what their tire strategy was. I don't know what they changed to go on.
Well, lucky for you, I do have the tire strategy up. At the moment, Mikey De Jong stays out, staying on a 5-lap-old hard tire. Some other older tires, we have Finn Baker on a 2-lap-old hard, Caden McDonald on a 1-lap-old hard, and Aiden McCarthy on a 2-lap-old hard. Everybody else is on a fresh hard tire, so we're pretty much on one strategy to the end. The car that's going to struggle the most making that work is obviously going to be Mikey De Jong with a lap 2 pit stop, but I'm sure regardless he'll be happy to even be back in it and have a chance.
Safety car another safety car can just throw all of this out the window and throw everybody else on a different set of tires.
Sure can, and I'm actually, just so people can kind of get a barometer of where everything's happening on track, I'm going to throw up the track map for all of you guys. And I know that, you know, it can sometimes be a bit annoying to have that extra data on there, but I think it will be helpful for spotting spotting yellow flags and stuff for everybody involved here. We'll knock that tire strat down. We know at this point everybody's basically on the same strategy. Take a quick look at the position changes. Our biggest gainer right now, Santi Ortiz, in up 9 positions from his starting spot. Jackson Altman up 11 from his starting spot, or up 7 from his starting spot. Sorry, not 11. And our biggest losers, Harrison Holmes has fallen from pole position down to 6th, and Finn Baker has fallen from P9, I believe, down to P15. Obviously, Ryan Messer also way down the order, but I mean that's a retirement, so there's nothing he can. There's nothing much he's gonna do from here.
I just heard something in the background. What was that?
I don't know if you're seeing this as well, but I have a safety car splitting the field right now
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
that has gotten everybody to overtake the safety car and go around.
that. Yeah, these guys. Oh well, there's wing damage on the track, so clearly these guys are confused. There's some confusion going on.
There
People
is
are
something.
picking up.
There's something going on right now. I don't know what it is. We've
I've
got.
just seen the Ferrari pick up 2 wing damage, or like 2 his
Well,
wing damage. Like,
I don't understand why the safety car let everybody by.
I'm not too sure. This is gonna really make this odd.
It's gonna make it a long safety car period. I don't quite understand that. I've not seen that before.
Well, Aiden McCarthy ought to jump into the pits here real fast.
Yeah, I mean anybody who has damage, this is gonna be a big game changer for them. This might even be an opportunity if you're brave to put on a medium tire, and see.
How old are you feeling?
I mean, I bet I could make a medium go from here. I think 20. We're talking about 21 laps. I think that's doable. At a track with Australia, it's a pretty low wear here. But it doesn't look like we're going to see any takers for tires yet. Do we see any takers for wing damage? We saw that 10-second penalty. We have one Ferrari in the pit. If we know that there's one driver last season who liked a brazen strategy, it was Aiden McCarthy down there in 17th. We see them waiting, serving that 10-second penalty, holding on to those yellow stripe medium tires, and he is going to be pushing early to try and make his way through some of those hard runners and then hold them off at the end. He's just going to, I guess, have to see what he can do with that. I'd imagine the safety car will be in at the end here. So let's quickly go through our Aston Martin thing that we didn't get a chance to do. Obviously, Aston Martin, asphalt racing team, they were third in the Constructors last year. Now, points are reset, but they have the same drivers. Going to be very interesting to see what they can do this year, but I think that holding on to the same drivers, even in a league racing setting, holds on to a lot of value because you get used to working with those people. You get used to sharing setups, and they do have a affiliation with Vision 47 and the Mercedes. We can use that as a bit of a transition to Vision 47 because it looks like the safety car is not going to be in this lap. Vision 47 is quite an interesting one this year. It used to be Team 44 Racing. Obviously, I was the owner of that. Stepping away from racing to become a commentator, I wanted to kind of collaborate a bit more, and now Cameron Lopez is my co-owner, also leading the race, so a bit of a little bit of bias here. But I'm very happy to see Cameron Lopez leading this race. And we have Sean Rice down in the 12th position, reserving for our defending champion George Knight. So we have 2 ARC Formula 1 champions in that Vision 47 Mercedes this year, and a quality reserve driver who will be able to hop in at a moment's notice and take control. Speaking of teams that are quality, last season in a late push, the McLaren team of Wildcard Autosport was driven by Aiden McCarthy, who obviously we were just talking about down in 17th, and as well Xander Wiles. They have since switched to Ferrari with the new team draft, but as you can see, Xander is up in P2. He's going to be pushing for his first ever victory, and as I said before, Aiden McCarthy is always on the lookout for a really aggressive strategy. He's a driver who can pick up on points when the opportunity presents itself. He actually last season managed to make his way up to P13 in the standings with a season high finish of P6 in the United States Grand Prix. We have another 10-second penalty, this time for who is that? Josh Mayo in the CL7RB. I believe 2 teammates back there may have just made contact. We'll see if there's any damage. doesn't look like there's any damage, but that car in the back may be missing an end plate. I could be wrong, though. Oh, it is missing an end plate. That was Caden McDonald running into the back of his teammate. Not going to be a happy camp for the CL7 guys after this race as we get ready to go green here. Cameron Lopez backed up the field, but he's off immediately. He is well out ahead of Xander Wiles here, but not far enough ahead to be safe, headed off into the tight turn 3. He will defend defend the position off into turn 1. Obviously, he not moving to defend there, but he may have that Ferrari right on him here, headed off into turn 3. Not quite enough for Xander, and now they're just going to tuck in and see what they can do from here. We have a bit of a gap forming, it looks like, between Abdul Rahman Al-Hazmi and Jackson Altman in P11 and 12, so a bit of a gap there. And obviously Caden McDonald, as mentioned, down at the back with his wing change that he obviously contributed to himself and now has to pay the price for. Looks like Oliver James is really going to be pushing in that McLaren. That McLaren for East Coast Racing, by the way. Those two drivers, Jackson Altman and Oliver James, were both Team 44 drivers at one point last season. And we will continue to see the Vision 47 and East Coast Racing partnership this season with both of those drivers finding a new home at ECR, one of our longest running teams in ARC. Obviously, when the league's been around since 2016, you end up with a lot of faces that stick around for quite a long time, and ECR is no different. Been through a couple different team owners, but the team remains. We see Harrison Holmes pick up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to really hurt his races, especially at a track like this where you're talking about a DRS train for most of the race. Watching Cameron Lopez here really just push the limit makes me really think that we're going to see a lot more track limit penalties by the end of this thing. Santi Ortiz up to P4. We have a caution sector. Oh, we have a big crash! Both Red Bulls out of the race. Maybe one still in it. We have a big crash in the back here. And the Mercedes spins to avoid it, that being Sean Rice. Oh my, what spurred that one?
Oh man.
I
think that Red Bull just clobbered into that.
I believe Harrison Holmes spun from P4. We have a red flag, I believe. The track has gone red on the track map.
Well, I believe this happened last season at Australia.
Last season at Australia, we had a red flag. That makes it.
Right. It was lap 1 on the race start. Thanks to me.
That was a crazy accident. I would love the ability to catch that on a replay. Maybe in future games we'll get a race director that in depth, or maybe I'll have to improve my skills a little bit on the streaming end. But no, we've.
AK.
Hello, Delano. We have an in-race reporter.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, not so much. I will be gone quite fast. Quick insight of what caused the red flag. Harrison lost control. Mega piled up. Everybody got into him, and
yeah, we caught the accident on stream, or at least the aftermath of it. We saw that. I noticed that Harrison fell from the 4th position. We're about to go green again here, but we noticed he fell from the 4th position. Then we saw Red Bulls and just debris everywhere.
yeah.
We're headed off here again for another start here. Cameron Lopez defending off into turn 1, and he's going to hold on ahead of Xander Wiles again. I'm seeing some cars falling down the field again. Mikey De Jong out again off of a... didn't this happen to him? No, he wasn't in at this point at last season. We might be under safety car relatively quickly here. One of the Aston Martins took a big chunk of damage there as well, that being Charlie Murphy. Is that another red flag?
I went to
AJ, this is one of the things I want to talk to you. If you've got time for after the race, would be nice.
Yeah, we can chat post race. We'll talk about. We're just streaming now, so.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm gonna be gone again. So.
Yep. No worries.
All right. Have a good stream. Hope stuff will stay okay. I'll stay in the lobby so it doesn't crash out again.
Yeah, this has been certainly a race for sure. It's been intense. crazy things happening during this race. I didn't even catch what caused that red flag. It looked as if maybe it was triggered by the Aston Martin of Charlie Murphy sitting there on the outside
It
of
was
turn
Al-Hazmi.
2.
It was
Al-Hazmi?
Al-Hazmi. Yeah,
So
he
we
was.
saw.
Yeah, he got caught up in a second. There was a second wreck that happened later on that straight, and I looked at it, and it was how Al-Hazmi just like.
Did he
I don't know
DNF?
who was behind him. He did DNF. He was stuck on the
So
track.
both Racing Predators cars out after a second red flag period. And Cameron
We're
Lopez,
down to 11.
yeah, and Cameron Lopez is going to have to try and hold off Xander Wiles again. Xander Wiles actually got a worse start this time than he's had in past ones, but he actually got away pretty lucky. There's was that Oliver James way down? What is going on back here? The intensity level is just absolutely through the roof here, and drivers are just disregarding each other. I don't understand. I'd imagine that
You see this at the beginning.
yeah, I mean you would see it at the beginning of the season for sure. I mean, it makes sense. We've got a whole bunch of drivers here, a lot of them new who haven't raced with each other before, don't know where the limits are, but my oh my, I was not expecting 2 red flags.
By the way, up 14 after all that.
Yeah, Jackson Altman he's pushing. And shout out to Sean Rice as well, who hopped in this Mercedes last minute and really is on for a points paying position here for Vision 47 Racing. I can't imagine he'll fall behind Caden McDonald with the race that he's had. And also Charlie Murphy way down the field with damage now, I believe. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Charlie Murphy. Actually, I don't believe he's missing an end plate, but that car is not functional in the way that he'd be used to it being, based on what I've just seen him bobbling there. Caden McDonald once again missing an end plate. He may be headed into the pits this time. He will be replacing Wing. Aiden McDonald also, or Aiden McCarthy, sorry. He is also missing some end plate. Sean Rice just minding his business, running a solid race in P8. I believe Aiden McDonald. Oh, and as I say that, he nearly spun off into the wall. Santi Ortiz down to 7th. Really, I think it should be mentioned during that first red flag period with the 2 Red Bulls, how close Sean Rice came to crashing. Fully locking up the brakes, spinning around, and fully avoiding any sort of penalty at all, whether that be a time penalty or anything, by deliberately spinning out to avoid hitting those 2 stopped cars. That was really good driving.
People are calling for a 25% restart of all the kit going on.
There's been nothing
It's
to...
either because with their ghosting us off, damage is on standard causing to be unimaginable pieces of damage, plus the bugs of this game. Don't attack me, I'm just a messenger. People are saying it's either 25% or a race, or race voids. I do stand by that, because this is ridiculous. I have never seen this. We are still experimenting this, but people are DNFing left and right because of bugs.
I would have to... Obviously, we're back under safety car, so it gives us time to discuss, but we will have to talk about this post-race. Obviously, the lobby is still functional. We still have 10 points paying positions up for grabs here. So, yeah, for now, it's racing as usual.
Alright, but yeah, we gotta get this fixed for round 2 at least.
Yeah, I believe that we'll have a busy week in the stewarding room for sure, and we'll take a look at what was caused by bugs versus what was caused by bad driving for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch what happened with that accident.
Yeah, I didn't catch the safety car period at all. I did catch, importantly, Xander Wiles catching the Team 44 Lopez, I should say, Cameron Lopez, and actually taking that position from him. Be interesting to see if anybody...
Taking a risk here? He is. Both McLarens. Okay. Oh, I don't know if he's allowed to do that.
What? Sorry, who?
The McLaren purposely slowed down before entering like the pit line to make sure he got a gap to his teammate. Is that right?
Be fine, I think.
I don't know. I mean, it held up the whoever it was. It held up.
It is clever though, but
I think the Alpine still got it.
Clever or not, you need to keep that 10 car length gap minimum, so it'd be interesting to see if it gets reported or not, because that's pretty slam dunk when you're not going the right speed. Hitting about 10 laps to go now when we cross the line this time. It's going to really set us up for a bit of a sprint here, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit surprised not to see somebody dabble for a soft tire here besides Jackson Altman. I know some people might think that's a little early, but on a track this smooth, with so few high-speed corners, like, obviously there's a lot of high-speed corners at this track, but they're not really corners that grain the tires so bad. They're all quite, it's quite a rear-limited track, it feels like, from my experience. But especially in the corner exits, because you're coming up over those curbs all the time. But yeah, I'm just a little surprised not to see some different strategies play out here. It looks like we're going to do another lap under the safety car. Wonder if we'll have any takers for a soft tire now. I know all those medium tire runners are fairly, like, new mediums, but I can't imagine a 10-lap-old hard tire for Santi Ortiz is the wave, you know? Yeah, I mean, if there was somebody I'd expect to pit, it would be Aiden McCarthy. He is he putting on another medium tire? He is. So he doesn't seem to believe in the soft tire.
Maybe he sees something we don't.
Maybe. Typically, he's a pretty aggressive strategist when it comes to these types of races. So I'm quite surprised to see that one. And he'll have to fight his way past now on a tire that really is not better than anyone else in the field, except for Santi Ortiz and Caden McDonald, who are both, I mean, I think you'll make pretty easy work of two 11-lap-old hard tires on a medium, but beyond that, I mean, who are you going to pass? Everybody who's ahead of you on a medium is on the same compound. I just don't see the vision here, I don't think.
I'm curious to see how Altman gets through these first couple of weeks.
Yeah, and we will absolutely be keeping an eye on Jackson Altman. I think there is a potential here for a victory for the East Coast Racing McLaren driver, and his first start for East Coast Racing at that. Another driver I'm going to be keeping an eye on is Sean Rice, because while he's had a couple of mistakes this race, he's also done a really good job at keeping his car in one piece, which is more than can be said for half of the field.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have, obviously there's going to be some angry drivers post-race. Again, I'm interested to see how much of this was based on bad driving standards, because I've seen some incidents happen in this race. I don't think anybody's blind to that, but I've also seen some. I've also heard Delano. I don't know if he's still here, but Delano did say that there was some glitches, and I don't know how much I subscribe to that theory and how much of it was just bad driving.
There's some people. Lopes has 2 warnings, if I'm looking at that correctly. He has 2 warnings, so he has to be very careful. And I'm trying to look through everybody else.
Yeah, those top 6 as we go away here for another restart. Man. Sean Rice just absolutely holding up Jackson Altman on that soft tire versus the medium. Altman's just going to send it down the inside on that new soft. He's already up to P5. Jamie Cavanini, did he just pick up a penalty? He did. And now, we're going to watch Jackson Altman and see what he can kind of do during this. Maybe we'll switch to an onboard here for a moment and see what these fresh soft tires look like down the, or through the first sector, I should say. He's not really pushing the limit too much here. He knows... Well, yeah, obviously Oliver James, not a slouch. He's a very fast driver in his own right. He's on a medium tire. This could come down to the end. I believe probably by the end of the race that Oliver's probably going to be the quicker car, but maybe you'd even see Jackson bringing in the tires slowly to make sure that they don't end up cooked by the end of this thing. Oliver going for it immediately. He's way down the inside, and the crossover for Jackson Altman on that soft tire, not going to help either one of them catch up to the drivers ahead of them. I am very excited, though, to see how this plays out at the front. I was not expecting, after that crash, that, Josh Mayo was involved in. Go to Alonso. I did not expect him. Earlier in this race, he had a 10-second penalty for a collision under safety car with his teammate. He came in, he served it. He's up 8 positions into P4. That's impressive.
You can make a case for a lot of these people, you know, for drivers. A lot of these guys have had to bounce back from time penalties at the end of certain pits and all that, and I mean, this is why you stay in it, right? This is why you don't give up early for
absolutely, and I mean, especially in such a pendulum of a race, like a lot of the field has just been working their way back up the order after falling to the back of the field. Aiden McCarthy, he was down in 19th or 18th after lap 1 or something like that. He was way down the order. And I mean, there is another more negative outlook you could have on it, in that it's pretty easy to make your way up the field when half of the field is not in the race any longer. But I think we do have to recognize the fact that these 10 are the 10 still in the race. It seems like the level of aggression is kind of toned down a little bit, especially with the guys up at the front. Cameron Lopez, he knows when to make a move. Oh!
That's a mistake you don't want to make.
That was a commentator's curse if I've ever heard it. I said, I know he knows when to make a move, and he unfortunately moved into the grass and nearly the wall.
This is going to bring the McLarens back in this process.
It might actually, and we're going to see Cameron Lopez. He'll be burning ERS. We definitely know he'll be burning ERS. In fact, I should probably pull that up here.
Doesn't have that much to burn, though.
No, only 17% for Cameron Lopez.
Jamie's been saving. Jamie's also got a penalty, so I don't know how hard Jamie's really going to battle Lopes here. Obviously, it's a race no matter what.
If Jamie's smart about it, and we obviously just saw he will. Oh, was there damage there?
I think they're all good.
I just saw a visual cue of damage on that V-carb, but maybe that wasn't. Maybe he got away cleanly with that, but he still has both end plates, but it looked like one was prepared to fly off there for a moment. Cameron Lopez obviously already catching his way back up to Xander Wiles, who's going to be under a lot of pressure from the Portuguese driver behind him.
I think the McLarens are going to get they have a good, run right here to the section of the track coming up to sector Hood, and it looks like they will be within DRS range.
They absolutely, they already are. Oliver James especially, he looks to be pushing quite hard. I would be very surprised if we do not see Oliver James cross the line in the top 3 cars to cross the line, but it will be hard to overcome that time penalty at the end of this race, especially with the field so close together here. Top 6, obviously, all within that 6-second range, all within 5 seconds. Less than that, even looks like 3 seconds? That's crazy.
Oh, that's in the back. Oh, he's off. Yeah, that's Ortiz, it looks like. That doesn't matter. We're back to the front, looks like.
From the helicopter camera at this moment in time, we have the top 5 all nose to tail now as we head into the final 5 laps of this race. We have 5 cars in the top 5, all from 5 different teams. Rear gunner of Jackson Altman on a soft tire. Those softs are going to start falling away now as he begins to fall away from DRS. He's out of DRS now, so it will be a 5-car battle from 5 different teams.
He might get it back. They're starting to stack it up here. He's going to get back in it.
It's hard to say. He's going to really have to push that soft tire, and then at that point you've got to say, well, is he going to have enough? We've got a driver from Wildcard Autosport leading this race, that being Xander Wiles. He has not won an ARC race. We have a driver from Vision 47, Cameron Lopez, who's now going for the lead. Vision 47, Cameron Lopez, the team owner of, part team owner, and he is looking for a race win to start off a push for his second championship.
Oh, wow, man, they're really giving it all.
Yeah, Jamie Cavagnini holding it around the outside of Xander Wiles. These two had some drama last season, especially at Las Vegas. There was a coming together between Xander Wiles and Jamie Cavagnini last season. I believe also at Qatar. So they have a little bit of a history here. It'll be interesting to see if there's any contact. Hopefully not. Hopefully they can keep it very clean. Jamie Cavagnini, a driver for Asphalt Racing Team. So that's 3 of our teams mentioned. The V-Carb in 4th place, belonging to CL7 Racing. I'm sure the owner, Luke Allen, will be watching this stream. Josh Mayo, the driver of that car, picking up a 3-second penalty as he's mentioned. Oh my, things are getting tough. You could say it's even also becoming quite a perfect scene for Cameron Lopez, who continues to pull away now, especially with Jamie Cavagnini jumping in front of Xander Wiles for that one moment in time. Whoa! A McLaren steaming down the... What on earth?
He's out. That's Jamie.
What just happened?
I think there's no safety. They can't have one. This is just... Oh,
what just happened?
Whoa.
Oliver James went steaming down the inside and hit Jamie Cavagnini into the wall and crashed him. Was there an equipment failure? Was it targeted? What did we just see?
You know, we saw that with what is it, Oscar? Is that his name?
Sorry, which driver?
The McLaren.
Oliver James. Yes, he was.
Oliver, my fault, Oliver. He did that to Jackson Allman. Remember, he sent it deep, and he might have tried to do the same thing to Jamie, and he just maybe he didn't think Jamie was going to pull up a fight.
Yeah, that would have been a large misjudgment based on what I just captured on stream, I have to say. You'd have to imagine, like, you reach a certain level of aggression in the race, especially as we get down to 3 to go here. 3 to go in this race. We have 3 drivers in it at the moment. It's just down to those 3 teams mentioned. Vision 47 and the Portuguese driver Cameron Lopez. Xander Wiles from Great Britain. He is pushing and he is sliding. And he's going to have to really, really take care of those rear tires if he wants to put up any fight on Cameron Lopez here. He's going to have to really watch his ERS use. And he has saved a lot of ERS. It has to be said. He saved a good bit. Yeah, Cameron also saving a lot. Josh Mayo just trying his best to hold on to that position. He's got a 3-second penalty. Jackson Altman down in 4th place. He just needs to hold on to that 3-second gap, but it's going to be tough without DRS. It's 3.0 at this current moment, 3.1, 3.0 and dropping, but also is the moment that we start hitting those tough corners where you need a little bit more lateral grip, that soft tire is not going to give it to you, and that time is climbing at 3.4, about to be 3.5. I would say Josh Mayo is in the safe zone if he can keep himself from getting any more penalties for the remainder of this race.
I think Josh is going to play smart. He's just going to ride behind Xander.
And
who knows? Maybe these two get together. He could just get a benefit from
that. Would be a crazy story. It would take a lot for Josh Mayo to pull off a win here for CL7 Racing. CL7 Racing, obviously, having never won an ARC Formula 1 race, one of our longer tenured teams, owned by one of our league admins, Luke Allen. He would be extremely happy to see one of his cars on the podium, but a race win would be a next level thing. And now we come down to the final lap. Xander Wiles within 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second, 0.2 of a second. Is he going to go for it? He waits. He thinks better of it. He tucks right in. But
Oh, he touched him.
yeah,
Josh
there's
Mayo
contact. Oh, this could affect Xander Wiles' chance at this. He tucks in again. He's
That's
just not going to have
so.
it.
Oh,
And Josh
man.
Mayo into second
Oh,
place.
that's actually wow.
I'm not sure I would have gone for that with a time penalty. He's maybe just cost himself a solid shot at a race win, really, because if Xander and Cameron Lopez came together, that would have been Josh Mayo's to lose in that moment, but he's effectively cost Xavier Wiles any chance at that as Xavier comes steaming down the inside here of the chicane. More contact here for P2. Xander is really pushing here. Josh absolutely pushing him to the limit. Cameron Lopez is just pulling away at this point, and I believe there's not going to be much that can be done unless we see an absolute mistake or a Hail Mary. But we're not going to see it this time. Cameron Lopez rounding the final corner. Cameron Lopez starting off the 2025 Season 15 Australian Grand Prix with a victory for his new team and our podium. Xander Wiles is going to be extremely disappointed to lose after that one. But,
Jeez.
on a happy note, Josh Mayo, his first career ARC podium in P3 for CL7 Racing. A lot of big points for some heavy hitters today, but talking about heavy hitters, also a lot of heavy hits working our way back down the field here. Some big crashes, 2 red flags, lot of mistakes, and a lot of trials to go through to get that race victory for Cameron Lopez. Driver of the day goes to Josh Mayo in game, but I ask you, Matthew Stotts, who is your pick for driver of the day?
Well, we just talked about it. You know, I really think, you know, I get that Jackson, you know, made up so much spots, but like Josh, I mean, he had to get off. He had to like sit there for what was it, 10 seconds or something like that. He had to sit in the pits for 10 seconds. And he
Yeah,
comes home with the podium.
I would
really
tend to agree with that. That was a very mature drive from him up to the final part of the race as we have our podium drivers celebrating now. Sips of champagne all around in Melbourne for our virtual Formula 1 drivers.
Look at all the tire compound usage here.
Yeah, I mean the strategies are just going to be an absolute
McCarthy.
rainbow.
7 times. He pit 7 times, and he comes home with the top 5. That's insane. That's awesome, though. I mean, this race was very hectic. And you know, we didn't get the that crazy finish we wanted, but it was close no matter what. That's what we were wanting to see.
I think from both the streaming booth and from the race itself, there were a lot of ups and downs in this race. At first, we struggled greatly with the stream, and we both thought it wasn't even going to happen, but we came away with a race that I'm happy we have on YouTube, because this will go down as maybe not the cleanest, well, absolutely not the cleanest race. There will be a lot. There will be a lot of trips to the stewarding room, but I'm sure it was fun to watch. I had fun watching it, and I'm not driving anymore. I mean, I can't imagine where I would have been I probably would have been upset. I probably would have run into that pile of Red Bulls in turn 6. But no, I'm pretty happy to be up here and be able to kind of witness everything going on at once.
Well, now you get to, deal with the aftermath, though.
I would, yeah. That's the less fun part. I was gonna say, what I would like to do now is, if possible, pull Discord over and start dragging people into the booth. Get our top 3 in here if possible.
Oh, this top 3. Oh, it's gonna be great talking to Xander. I want to hear how frustrated he is.
Yeah, I wanna see if we can do that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to really quickly change permissions for our channel quickly. And I'm going to drag some drivers really quickly. Xander, dragging it. Oh, I can't do that. No, it won't let me. How about I just tell them to join? Who do we got? Xander... Spencer, not Spencer, who did I just tag? Xander,
Cameron's in the waiting room.
Cameron, and Josh Mayo. Josh Mayo. I can't. My Discord is so just not working right now. Join com room, bottom of server. We'll wait to bring you guys interviews here from our top 3 finishers. I'm definitely interested to hear. We'll bring Josh Mayo in here first. Hey, Josh Mayo, do you have a copy, sir?
Of what?
Well, you hear our voices, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, walk us through how you went from a 10-second penalty to a podium finish.
If I'm honest, I don't actually know how it happened. I wasn't expecting it. It was more pit and hope for the best. And then red flag happened and tyre strategy got us the podium really. Everyone else either pits to the mediums or softs. We just had the advantage and then DRS training with the front 3.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first career ARC Formula 1 podium, yes?
That was my first one, yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to start a season. Especially Matthew as well said I think we're in agreement that you are definitely driver of the day, whether the game gave it to you or not. To go from getting run into and given a 10-second penalty by your teammate to recover to a podium for a team that you got loaned to just a week before the race happened is just really incredible performance. I can only imagine that you're very happy to start the season off with 15 big points. That puts you into a very solid position going forward for the championship. What are your ambitions for this season?
Looking to win a race or two. I don't think challenging for the title will be a priority just yet. I want to get my feet stuck in before anything. And then if we win a race or two, we'll get the hopes up. And if not, we'll just dial it down a bit and then work on what we need to work on really.
Absolutely. And is there anything you'd like to say to your teammate after the contact there?
Well, if I speak, I'll be in big trouble, so there's no words there.
So tensions in the CL7 garage, but also elation from one side of the garage. We will see how this progresses as the season goes on. We have a storyline. Great speaking to you, Josh, and congratulations for a P3 finish.
Thank you, man. It was great speaking to you both.
Have a good night.
And you, man.
I don't know what it is over there.
Yeah, it's night time. It is very late, so I'm probably gonna head to bed now.
Have fun. We'll get. I don't have a interview here from Xander, so we're gonna try and take Jackson Altman instead. Sorry, I'm just. We need kind of a third guy to. A third guy here to take over
Perfect guy we can grab.
interviewing.
Perfect guy.
Here, Jackson Altman, here we go.
My buddy.
Yeah, we'll get Jackson Altman in here. P4 finish for the moment, I believe. Is that correct?
Oh, I don't know how to turn a speaker on. Hold up.
You're good. You're all good. We can hear you.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Nah.
Wait, how are you responding to me saying you can't hear me?
No, like,
He's out of it.
talk now?
Hello?
Alright, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. We're just gonna do a quick interview with you. Just really big swinging positions from you. Qualified way down the order at the start. Climbed up a ton of positions. Firstly, tell me what that climb was like through the first part of the field. what was it like racing a bunch of the new guys? Was there anybody that stood out to you as clean? Was there anybody that stood out to you as dangerous? Was there anything that happened on track that you'd like to point out and that we should reference in looking through the replay later?
Yeah. Obviously not the qualifying I wanted, but haven't touched this game since the last time I did an ARC race, so it was expected. But I didn't really see much going on, or I don't know. I got hit a couple times. So I don't really remember who it was, but I just got to the front because they just kept wrecking. So I had good wreck avoidance and passed them all when they wrecked.
Yeah. I can imagine. Were you behind the two Red Bulls stacking up? Did you catch what happened with the Haas spinning off the track and causing that big Red Bull accident?
I was a couple cars behind it, but I saw the track was just blocked. I was just looking at the replay. I just slammed the brakes and like somehow snuck through it, but I didn't really see how it started.
And my final question for you, if Stotts doesn't have any to add, is what if you could go back to the last safety car period, would you take that soft tire again?
I think I would. My tire wear was pretty bad that race, and I think I would have ended up P4 either way. I didn't really have the pace to stick with the top guys, but I think it was worth the risk. Because if another safety car came out, then I could have just hopped onto another set of softs.
Yeah, I like the aggression for sure. I was really on board with your strategy during the stream. It's a shame it didn't quite work out for a podium, but you came pretty close. And
My tire was on 90 to finish.
yeah, you can't complain about a P4 when you got a 90% tire. So good
And
performance.
When I started P18.
Good performance
Yeah,
from you from P18 to P4. That's a hell of a performance. And if it wasn't for Josh Mayo recovering from a 10-second penalty during the first safety car period to get onto the podium, you would have been the pick for driver of the day. Anyway, we're going to get Xander Wiles in here next. Great speaking to you, Jackson. Our P2 finisher, a British driver, yet to score a race win. He is going to be dragged into the ARC booth. Hello, Xander. Obviously, we thought near the end of that race you had a very good shot at taking the victory. And we watched that slip away as Josh Mayo made a move that...
he hit me.
Yeah, we'll call it a move. We didn't catch how much or little contact there was, but what are your thoughts on that incident? And do you?
The Cam is sad that he needs 3 people to help him win a race, and he can't do it on his own. 3 people that aren't on his team.
So we have some what's the word I'm looking for here?
Orders.
We have some different. Yeah, we'll call it
orders.
team orders, but we'll also call it a difference of opinions on track, or we should say off track at this point as well. It seems from Xander Wiles. How close do you think you were to getting that first win today?
Well, I would have had it if I wasn't in a 5v1.
And do you think there's anything that are there any dates circled in this calendar that you think that you're going to be able to get that first victory? Because we are,
I don't think I'm going to race the rest of the season. I don't enjoy doing a 5v1 every race. It's a fucking shit league.
Okay, and we will.
When everyone's teaming against you, it's just not fun. So why would I race?
The racing was very entertaining to watch on stream. I will say that.
Everything will be looked over though.
Yep. Trust the stewarding team to make the right decisions when it comes to this stuff.
I would like to see you back though. I would like to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen you race last season. I really have, and I've raced alongside you. You're a hell of a racer. Just be patient with this. Obviously, we got a bunch of new guys. So if you work with us, we'll work with you.
Absolutely. Anyway, good speaking to you, Xander. We will.
Good race though. Good race.
Yeah, we will take the week to, or you can also, I guess, take the week to recover from a disappointing performance. Still came away with a very solid P2 finish, 18 points in the bank. And this actually leads me to another question that I'm wondering now with our race winner Cameron Lopez, very much celebratory for the Vision 47 driver, but I gotta get into the drama first. What was said in the waiting room between you and Xander Wiles?
It was actually nothing. He was on deafen.
Okay, so the silent treatment between the
Yeah.
Probably smart. That's
between
probably
Xander
smart.
Wiles and Cameron Lopez. I had to ask because at the end of the day, Formula One is all about the racing, but it's also a bit of a soap opera on wheels. So if we can harness that, we promote that. We gotta know. Anyway, huge victory for you. Obviously, you're a Formula One champion in Auto Racing Connected. Starting off the season with a big 25 points. Your teammate didn't show up this week. George Knight, the defending champion, replaced by Sean Rice, who actually brought home some points for the team. Big for Vision 47. Big for you, though. Where do you think this puts you in the in your hunt for championship number 2 in the Auto Racing Connected Formula One World Championship?
I think this puts me in a great spot. It's with how talented the grid is this season. I think it's one of the most talented grids we've ever had. I think it's going to come down to consistency and scoring as many points as you can over a weekend, not DNFing. A lot of the big guys come out with in this race with 0 points. So it's just going to be about racking up those points and seeing where we are at the end of the season.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. As I said, I made this analogy earlier in the race. A lot of heavy hitters taking a lot of heavy hits this race. Drivers like Mikey De Jong, another ARC Formula One champion, 0 points. On top of that, George Knight just not showing up, 0 points. Oliver James, he crashed late in the race. He could be a threat to you. But I guess on that same token, we have a whole bunch of new drivers. Are there any that stood out to you as particularly a challenge going forward in this championship that like you have your eye on to maybe bring you a fight like Harrison Holmes and the Haas maybe?
Yeah, it was definitely Harris I was looking out for. Obviously, he's a very, very quick driver, and I think on his day he can be unstoppable. But luckily, I was able to get ahead of both of them early on and just kind of went for it from there.
And I do have one follow-up question that I do have to ask. Was there any communication between you and Josh Mayo on that move at the end of the race?
Between Josh Mayo, there was no. I was telling him to get the move done, but I wasn't. There's nothing I can do about it. That's down to him if he overtakes.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting indeed.
Interesting.
I was the one in the lead, and if he overtakes Xander, you overtake Xander. I'm not in his car speeding him up.
That is a fair assessment of the situation, and we did just have to get a bit of an interview sorted there. Just we had to ask. It would have been wrong not to ask.
It's just a benefit having friends on track, I guess.
I suppose that is true. And obviously you come away with 25 points. Massive race for you. First start for Vision 47. First race victory for Vision 47. Looking to claim their first Constructors' Championship here. Stotts, do you have any questions for the championship leader, race winner?
I have a couple. First of all, how you doing? It's been a minute since I talked to you. Congrats on the win. Obviously, you were away from the massacre that was happening in the mid-pack to the back. My question is, how did you, and I think you had a couple warnings early on, if I looked at that thing correctly. How hard and difficult was it to keep your car, on track and, knowing that if you got one more warning, that race probably could have been over for you, and you had so much pressure. How were you able to have the composure you had to not make a mistake?
Yeah, well, nice to see you as well, Matthew. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, I picked up those 2 warnings in the first half of the race, and that really meant I couldn't push as much. So I was kind of just chilling behind Xander for like the first majority of the race, and it wasn't until those last 5 laps where I started getting a move on. And the tires at the end, they were dreadful. We had this weird thing under the red flags where it didn't let us go back. Well, it let us go back onto the hards that we were on previously, but they were already down to like 25% tire wear. So we were forced to go on the mediums because the softs would not have made it. And the car was everywhere at the end of that race, struggling for traction. I did actually drop down to fourth at one point, but managed to get those places back straight away.
That's right. Yeah. And one more. What with this win? How aggressive do you head into these next few races to try and build this lead, knowing that probably your toughest competitors didn't get points? You know, how aggressive do you race everybody else? You know, trying to build that gap as the season goes on.
Me personally, I've never been one to race people differently. I race everyone the same, and I've always been fair with it. But I still think it's too early in the season to tell if I am going to be in championship contention by the end of it. So I'm just going to go race from race, rack up as many points as I can, and see where we are at the end of it.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Well, okay, congrats on the win, and you know it was great seeing you out there, and hope the season continues to be good and strong.
And
Yeah, thank you, man.
And yeah, with that, on that note, I suppose that wraps up the end of our ARC Formula One Season 15 inaugural race, I guess. a lot of words there to untwist, but importantly, the Australian Grand Prix is over with from the Albert Park circuit. We got 17 more of these to go, and we've got a lot more action coming to you from the Auto Racing Connected server, from our YouTube channel. If you do want to sign up and become a part of Auto Racing Connected, you can do so from the description of this video. We have links to our Discord server. You can check it out just by searching Auto Racing Connected on Google. We come up. You can find us. The series we run, obviously beyond F1, tons of other things, iRacing, NASCAR Heat 5, GT7, Assetto Corsa, all kinds of stuff. If you have a console, if you have a PC, come join us at Auto Racing Connected, and we will find a place for you to compete and enjoy yourself, become part of the community with us. We'll see you guys next week from the Chinese Grand Prix. We move from a track that is with some very close walls and a lot of straights to a track that has some more technical sections, like the long swooping turn 1, some really hard track limits like the final corner at China, and importantly a very, very, very long backstretch. Could be a pretty crazy race from the Shanghai International Circuit, especially with the 20 people that we have on board here. But yeah, I guess that does it for me. It's been AJ Knickel here. I've got Matthew Stotts here, and we are done with round 1. See you guys next week.